What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. And I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 36. Let's get it started. Yep, it's episode 36. And like always, we got a good couple of things to talk about. We got a couple of news stuff to review. It's always some tragic stuff going on every single day. So it's always going to keep us jam-packed with stuff to review and to review the world together. But we got a wide variety of things to talk about. We also got some stuff about the science community to talk about. So, hey, it's going to be a good mix of things today. I'm gonna do the majority of the news stuff and the hard-hitting topics earlier in the live stream, and then we're going to go on to the more sciencey topics at the later end. Lighter topics. So hope you all enjoy the show today, but hope everybody's having a good Saturday, August 30th, 8 a.m. You know, early bird catches the worm. It's always a good thing, but hope everybody's having a good beginning of their weekend. I know it's a long weekend. Hopefully some people have a long weekend with Labor Day being on Monday, so they get to relax. I ain't got nothing planned, just, the normal stuff, record, video editing, and relaxing, and just maybe eating some good food. That's the main thing, eating some good food. Hopefully everybody eats some good this weekend, or, hey, if you got to work, go make that money, ain't nothing wrong with it, just go make that money. But, I like to jump right into it. I don't really like to dilly-dally. So we're going to jump right into the topics today. The first thing we're gonna get into today, there's something crazy I seen popped up on my feed. A North Carolina election official was charged with drugging his granddaughter's ice cream with cocaine. Yeah, it's a weird world out here, y'all. It's a weird world, but we have to get over into that topic. We got a few videos to look at with that, but what can drive a man to drug his granddaughter's ice cream with some cocaine? Some sick individuals in this world. There's some sick individuals in this world, but let's jump right into it.
Just into our newsroom, court documents show a Surrey County Board of Elections chairman was arrested after allegedly putting drugs into his granddaughter's Dairy Queen Blizzards. Police say 66-year-old James Yoakley flagged down an officer after his granddaughters found pills in their ice cream. But then investigators say surveillance video showed he was the one who put the pills there. Police say the pills tested positive for illegal narcotics. Investigators confirmed the children did not ingest the pills. Yoakley is now charged with food contamination and felony child abuse.
Hold on. We got to back.
Yoakley is.
So you mean to tell me the granddaughter found the drugs, and to play it off, he flagged down a police officer and was like, yeah, we found some pills in our ice cream. We need to do an investigation. But they looked at the security footage. He was the one to put the pills in his granddaughter's ice cream. Yeah, there's some sick people in this world. Let's get over into this next video.
On August 3rd, a patrol officer was flagged down at the Sheetz gas station at the corner of Shipyard Boulevard and Independence, and was advised that two teenage girls had located some pills in their Blizzards, which is, as you probably know, is an ice cream product you can get from Dairy Queen. There were paramedics that were already there at the Sheetz. They weren't specifically called for this incident. In fact, that's actually why we believe that they stopped there. The paramedics checked them out. It did not appear that the juveniles had ingested any of the foreign substances that were located in their ice creams. The officer confiscated the pills. A presumptive field test was conducted on those pills. During that investigation, surveillance video was discovered and handed over to the Wilmington Police Department that clearly shows Mr. Yoakley placing the pills in the ice cream.
Sick individuals.
Based on that, other things discovered in the investigation, that detective pursued charges against Mr. Oakley. It was on the 26th that he came to the police station and was taken into custody, and those warrants that have been taken out and were served. And then he was transported to the jail, the New Hanover County Detention Center. He was given a $100,000 secured bond by the magistrate and was able to post bond and is currently out on bail right now.
Were they all driving together?
Yes.
First of all, we'll get over into the questions a little in a second, but first thing first. This sick man, you already know what he was planning. We clearly know what he was planning. He was trying to drug both him and his granddaughter and her friend. I hate to say it, but it sounds like he was trying to do something sexual. There's some sick people in this world. There's some sick people in this world. But that's the only thought that comes to my mind. Tell me if I'm wrong. But that's the only thing I can think about. And then when he caught, he tried to play it off. People who do these sick things to kids, I don't understand why they even have a bond in the first place. I mean, there's some things where, yes, it's fine to have a bond. There are something, of course, I'm fine with that. But when you get to these sick crimes, come on, I don't see any need to even give him a bond. But let's keep
on, and is currently out on bail right now.
Were they all driving together?
Yes. Yeah, they were all in Mr. Oakley's vehicle.
Did he place the pills in the drinks at the Dairy Queen?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on how he concealed that?
I don't know how well. So I know in the video, just to kind of summarize it, he can be seen placing something on the counter, and it's pretty apparent that when the employees make the drinks, he's trying to observe if anybody's observing him, and that's when the items are placed in the blizzards or
Did he
drinks,
put pills?
however you want to editorialize it, but yeah.
What do you think they're just going to eat the pill?
And when you guys went back to that Dairy Queen, and I assume asked, did they see him doing anything? Did they ever see anything?
No, they didn't give us any indication that they picked up on any suspicious behavior. So it was around closing time. They're closing up shop. They're doing their thing. They're making ice cream, so they're not necessarily on guard, to watch what a customer's doing. So it's definitely not on them. And there was obviously an effort by Mr. Oakley to try and conceal his behavior. So,
you can't blame the Dairy Queen workers. I don't care what you say. There's no way that they can be responsible for someone sneaking in drugs into somebody's ice cream, especially the people who they are with. Absolutely crazy. Now, do you think this is the first time he did this? I mean, I don't know. I would hope. We can hope that it's the first time he did it, but. Maybe he just I don't know, man. These are some sick individuals in this world. But I will say this next video. So he ended up resigning from his position. So let's get over into that.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, an update to a story we brought you at the top of the newscast. We have just learned the North Carolina State Board of Elections emergency meeting has been canceled because of this. We've learned that the chairman of the Surry County Elections Board, James Yokley, resigned. He was arrested in Wilmington on child abuse, drug possession, and other crimes. Police accused him of trying to drug his two granddaughters' ice cream with cocaine and ecstasy.
So it wasn't her friend, just
earlier, State Auditor Dave Bullock did call for his resignation. He issued the following statement here. With his resignation, the Surry County Board of Elections has resigned. They can move forward with the process of appointing a replacement.
Yep. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. There's some sick individuals in this world. You would think that little girls would be safe around their grandfather, but golly. But the question is, do you think that this is the first time he did this? Do you truly believe that this is the first time he did something like this? I don't know. I don't know if I can say confidently that I would agree that this is the first time. God, man. And then pills? Like, of course, I'm happy that he was caught. I'm truly happy that he was caught. But I'm glad the young girls had situational awareness. They was like, this ain't right. I know my blizzard. This is not how my blizzard's supposed to look. Why is there these pills in my blizzard? Come on now. Man, this man's a freak. We got to be honest. He a freak. Freaky boy. That's crazy. And then you a North Carolina election official? Nah, man. Yeah, you had to resign. Had to resign. I don't even think it. Well, he didn't have to resign. He just should have just been fired. I don't even think there's need for anything like that. I don't know how they go about that process of firing somebody, or if they would have to resign. I don't know, but hey, he should have just been written off the books. Yeah, he's out of here. Just with that stroke of the pen. Yep, he's out. Absolutely crazy, everybody. Let me know your thoughts. Do you disagree with anything I said? Do you think this was the first time he did something like this, or is this just the first time he was caught? Man, you know the girls trying to explain what their grandfather was trying to do to them. As the parents, I can't imagine that conversation. I truly can't. Try to explain it to the grandfather that you love. The grandfather that you always wanted to be around, hang out with, spend some time with, was out here trying to drug you. And they didn't go far into what would have happened after he was drugged, but come on now, we got to use our context clues. He was trying to sexually assault his granddaughters. Absolutely crazy, like everybody, absolutely crazy. Like I said, there's some sick people in this world, but we got to review the world together and just watch out for your kids. I mean, we got to be honest. You got to watch out for your kids. You just, no matter who they're around, family members can be the coldest people sometimes. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But let's go down to Florida now. We're going to go down to Florida. Well, a Florida mother is facing death penalty charges over the death of her son. Yeah, this is crazy. But let's jump right over into it and see what it's talking about.
In Brevard County, a mom is on trial right now accused of murdering her own 3-year-old son. Erica Dotson is charged with felony murder in the death of her son, Jamison.
Police say the child was abused for months before eventually dying from battered child syndrome. Fox 35's Esther Bowers live at the Brevard County Courthouse in Viera today. So, Esther, she is facing the death penalty here.
Fine with that.
John, she is, and because of that, we could see this trial here at the courthouse take around a month to fully wrap up. The state says that she was hiding her child from the public to hide all the abuse that he was going through, but her defense argues that she wasn't the one abusing him. It was her boyfriend at the time, and she did not know what was going on. This is body cam from when West.
We're not, I don't like to stop it too much, but come on now. I hate. Well, maybe they don't know, but I don't like to believe that a mother doesn't know that her son is getting abused by their boyfriend. That just sounds crazy to me. My mom would have known immediately. My mom knows me so good. No, there's no way. But let's keep going into this.
And she did not know what was going on. This is body cam from when West Melbourne police first responded to Erica Dotson's apartment on June 11th, 2021 for an alleged drowning call.
He said Jameson was in the bathtub and then he had a seizure, but the bathtub is so full. Why is the bathtub out?
Police say Jamison didn't drown, and in photos shown in court, which are too graphic to air, the child was covered in bruises all over his face and chest the day he died. Attorneys argue Jamison's mom took part in and did not report Jamison's abuse for months before he died.
Many people failed Jamison Nance, but no one failed him so profoundly as the one person whose job it was to keep him safe from harm, his own mother. This defendant, Erica Dotson.
Yeah, you got a point.
Dotson is facing first-degree felony murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, aggravated child abuse, and felony child abuse charges for her son's death. The state says Jamison broke his legs multiple times in his short life, and doctors would notice bruising during checkups, but Dotson always had a defense.
She claims the leg injury with the broken bones occurred when they were walking and Jamison twisted his ankle, falling off the curb. She says the black eye was from another child at daycare punching him, and the bruises on his legs were from a duck who bit him at the park.
The toddler's father was also trying to see his son after they split up. He testified in court. Dotson wouldn't let him. Jamison's father had nothing to do with his tragic death, but police believe Dotson's boyfriend at the time did. Joshua Mann.
We gotta pause it a little bit. What in the world Absolutely.
Is also facing a murder charge in his own separate trial. Dotson's lawyers argue Mans was the one abusing the 3-year-old and his mom never knew.
There is no evidence that she knew what was going on prior to that. She was at school, at work, and was told repeatedly that he would fall, things would happen. She was doing what she could to try to find out about those things and make sure that her son was okay.
I don't choose to believe that. Come on now. I don't. Let's go back. I don't choose to believe that, man. If the boyfriend is abusing your son constantly, he constantly has bruises, you're constantly making up lies about how it happened, the mother had to know. The mother had to know. I mean, it's simple as that. That's I don't see. Nah, that's cap. I don't choose to believe that the mother had nothing to do with it. This sweet little boy, just trying to, what is he, 5 years old? Trying to live his 5-year-old life. And you're the mother, the one who's supposed to protect you, over here just letting you get abused. You know, oh my God, you know that the father is heartbroken because the mother wouldn't let him see him. And it's a sad case for a lot of fathers. Some of the good fathers out there who mothers are holding their kids against them. But now they're saying that she could face the death penalty. If she knew that her son was being abused and didn't do nothing about it, I'm fine with that happening. I truly am. Now, some people don't believe in the death penalty. And now tell me if you don't. Tell me if you don't think that she deserved the death penalty or if you think that's too harsh. But if we're being honest, I think that some people shouldn't be on this earth. There are some sick people on this world that just don't need to be with the rest of society. We don't need to be spending our money on feeding them for the rest of their life, housing them for the rest of their life in jail. No, just do the victims a service. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be painful, but we need to get them out of here so they can go where they're going to spend the rest of their eternity. And we know what that is. We know what that is. Absolutely wild. Now, tell me this. Tell me, do you think that the mother knew anything about it? Are you like me? It was like, there's no way. There's no way. She knew something. She's making up excuses. She over here thinking like, oh no, he fell off the curb and broke his leg. The bruises are from a duck. No, a little boy punched him in the eye. Come on now. Let's be honest. We know what happened. We all know what happened. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But like always, just tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on anything. Tell me your thoughts on, do you believe in the death penalty? Do you think that she had nothing to do with it and they're just railroading her? But you think it was all the boyfriend? I wonder why she had full custody. I wonder, because I'm assuming that she had full, well, a lot of women get full custody, but it sounds like the father was fighting to see his son. And it's tragic. Tragic. You think you fighting to see your son, next thing you know, he ends up dead? Some horrible people in this world, man. Hey, I'm fine if she gets the death penalty. I truly am. Wow. Because if she's doing this, your son, nah. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on that. Some crazy things. Now we got to get over what is happening in California. So there's some stuff happening in California where in two separate areas, we're getting two news reports the same day that two different girls were wandering around the streets by themselves. Yeah, I said it. Two separate girls wandering around the streets by themselves. So let's get over into the first video, and then we got the other one to watch as well. Because where are the parents at? Come on now, where are the parents? We need to know. The parents need to know where their children are. That's the main thing I always say. The parents need to know where their children are. So let's jump right into it.
New here at 5, a little girl was spotted walking the streets of West Hollywood. She was all by herself. Someone called 911, and now her father is under arrest.
Our NBC4 Investigates team learned about it exclusively from the LA County Sheriff's Department. NBC4's Karma Dickinson live in West Hollywood to explain what deputies found when they approached her. Karma.
Yes, we're right here along Orange Grove Avenue where that little 5-year-old girl turned up, according to neighbors, looking like she needed help. Now, this is a street that is just north of Santa Monica Boulevard, so a pretty impacted area, but it's a quiet residential street. It was about 11 o'clock Wednesday morning when deputies got that call. Essentially, someone called 911 to report that a 5-year-old girl was walking around asking for food. Authorities say they found concerning marks on that little girl's neck and other parts of her body that didn't look like they came from a hand. Neighbors described them to us as lacerations that looked like they were infected. Now, authorities tracked down a man who identified himself as the little girl's father. They arrested Cody Jeffries, accusing him of felony corporal injury of a child and neglect. Some neighbors say they watched it all unfold.
Essentially, there was a bunch of policemen, and we saw one of the officers carrying out a little girl who just looked terrified and was awful.
Neighbors also described seeing the child's father that was detained shortly thereafter. Now, later that day, again, we're talking about Wednesday, another unaccompanied child would make headlines. This is the Santa Clarita story we've been reporting on, where a 6-year-old girl wearing a T-shirt and a diaper was found in a shopping center near a major intersection. That child, who authorities say is on the autism spectrum, had only her iPad and a chihuahua with her. It turns out the little girl had walked away from her apartment about a half a mile away. That child's mother arrested for child endangerment, but released on her own recognizance. The woman who identified herself as a child's aunt says the little girl's mother thought she was asleep as the child got out of the home. So back here in West Hollywood, as we're working to get more on the story of the 5-year-old girl found wandering, asking for food, we do know that her father at this point has not yet been charged, but neighbors are pretty concerned. They say police have been back out to the neighborhood, and they're really hoping to find a resolution and more answers to what happened here.
So, First thing, they said that the 5-year-old little girl, so we're going to get over into the 6-year-old little girl who was caught wandering in another part of California. But the 5-year-old girl had lacerations on her and different weird marks. So, we can't just say that he was abusing her, but it sounds like he was abusing her. We don't know until they investigate and the investigation comes out, but I don't understand. I'm going to say this again. I don't understand why people abuse children, especially parents. God, boy. Absolute crazy. Let's get over into that next video with the second little girl who was wandering around by herself in only a shirt and a diaper in California. Let's go.
Mother was arrested after her 6-year-old daughter was found wandering down a very busy street. She was all by herself, wearing only a diaper and a shirt. NBC4's Karma Dickinson live right now in Santa Clarita. And Karma, amazing because really a teenager stepped in to save the day here.
Oh, it's a good Samaritan right there.
Absolutely. 2 young people at the center of all this. So fortunate that everyone is okay. But that child crossed a major intersection. We're talking about the one just behind me here in Santa Clarita, McBean and Magic Mountain. And that little girl, we're told, is on the autism spectrum. We talked with her family, though, and they say this isn't what it sounds like. They say they take issue with the way the sheriff has characterized what happened, and the mother did not intend to endanger the child.
A half-dressed child, a tiny dog, a teenage Good Samaritan, and LA County Sheriff's deputies all found themselves in the middle of a strange scene. It came to an end in a shopping center off Magic Mountain and McBean Parkways in Santa Clarita.
Tried to stop her, but she just kept running.
And she was on Magic, right?
Yeah, on Magic.
Julius Rivera says he was out walking his dog when he saw something unusual. It was about 10 o'clock Wednesday night.
She was just wearing a diaper and a shirt and a backpack, and she had her little dog and her iPad.
She had a backpack
girl
on?
All alone.
I told my mom, and then after that, I was following her to make sure nothing happened to her, and I was trying to stop her.
He called 911.
She kept running, and I tried to stop her, but then she was just running.
He stayed with that little girl until law enforcement came. The LA County Sheriff's Department recovered the 6-year-old and her dog. They were easily able to identify her because of a name and address label on her iPad. The sheriff's department says when they went down the street to her apartment, they found the child's mother inside.
You have the right to remain silent, you understand?
They described the woman as impaired, saying she didn't know the child was missing and didn't realize deputies
impaired?
had entered the home. They arrested her on suspicion of child endangerment.
We came out to the home.
Hold on. We got to stop that for a second. They said that the mother was impaired and that she didn't even notice the officers were in the home. Yeah, she wouldn't have noticed her daughter walking out and leaving the house. Well, I don't. Yes, you have to take extra care with autism, the kids who have autism, of course. But come on now, you're so impaired that you don't even see officers walking into your house. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Let's keep going.
That little girl lives, and it's about a half a mile away from the shopping center where she turned up last night, where she traveled on foot with her little dog. Now, we talked with a woman who says she's the little girl's aunt. She says the family does not want to go on camera, but they disagreed with the sheriff's department's characterization of what happened here. They said it was an accident. She said that the mother thought the child was asleep, and the child, who, yes, has special needs, was able to make her way outside of the home, but it was an accident. The mother was not negligent in this case and certainly didn't do anything intentional from their perspective. They said the little girl's with her father. Everyone is okay. Right now, the family is really just trying to put themselves together from this. They say it was pretty embarrassing and they're trying to move forward.
And the LA County Sheriff's Department says that they are still working on their investigation. They plan to hand it over to the district attorney's office today. Reporting live from Santa Clarita, Carmen Dickerson, NBC4 News.
That's wild.
Home to sleep. No family does on, and it's about
impaired, saying she didn't know the child was. The sheriff's department says when they went down the street to her apartment.
Come on now, I don't. Yes, I don't know if she did anything abusive. I don't think she did anything abusive. But negligence, yes, I think it was negligent. Simple as that. I would have assumed it's negligent as soon as they said that the cops was able to walk into the house and that she didn't even notice them in the house or notice them walking into the house. I don't know if they're just saying, I don't know, man. Come on now, that's too much. I don't know what you was drinking on or sipping on, or what you was on, but not even noticing officers walking into your house. And then your daughter was able to have the ability to just leave the house. I don't know how it is to have a child with autism, but I would think that you would need to have some kind of security in place to where they can't just walk out the house. I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how it is to have a child with autism. So I don't know if you should have some kind of locks on the door so they can't just wander out the house, or some kind of safety mechanism so they can't just open the door. But it definitely sounds negligent to me. It doesn't sound like there's no charges need to be placed. Nah, that sounds like negligence. How you don't even notice your daughter walking out the house? You get so intoxicated you don't even notice that, and you don't even notice the officers coming to the door? Nah, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yes, of course, the family's going to want to say, nah, it's just not like that. She wasn't negligent, but that just sounds negligent to me. I'm happy, but we got to give props. We got to give props to the good Samaritans who actually stopped and helped the children. That one little, the younger man with the dog, he stayed with the little girl, followed her, make sure nothing happened. Make sure. That's walking around with just a shirt, a diaper, a little chihuahua. The little chihuahua was there, but it wouldn't have helped her, and an iPad. Walking across a busy street. Luckily, she was found and recovered safely. Luckily, because it could have been a tragic thing. And then we know there's some sick people out here who do some wild things. So it's good. It's good. That's something that both of these girls were recovered and are in safe hands now. But both parents have to be charged. Negligence, at least. And the one with the first video with the little girl who had bruises, you got to investigate deeper into that. Both cases need to be investigated deeply, but Nah, you can't just have bruises on a little girl and just let that go by. Nah, nothing like that. But like always, I say, tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you disagree with anything I said. Do you think that both of these parents were negligent? And how do you, am I wrong about the autism, the little girl who had autism? Is that something you just have to be aware of and it can happen? Or is there ways to stop her from just wandering out the house? So tell me if you've ever dealt with that. But, wow, I was not expecting that. But both of these happened in California. I don't know what's happening in California, but absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Now we gotta pivot over into New York. We gotta go into New York. And a doctor was just recently sentenced for sexually assaulting multiple women using anesthesia. Yes, he would drug them with anesthesia first, but they don't even know how many women in total he actually sexually assaulted. That is what they're saying. But this case started about 2 years ago. So we're gonna get into the original case where it was brought to the public's attention 2 years ago, and then we're getting to the most recent where he was sentenced just a little while ago. So let's jump right into it and see what's happening.
Tonight, a joint investigation by the News 4 I-Team and Telemundo Investiga uncovers unthinkable allegations of rape inside a New York City hospital. A doctor accused of drugging and sexually assaulting a female patient while recording it on his cell phone. And as Chris Glorioso reports, this is not the first time he's been accused of using anesthesia to commit sex crimes.
Wow.
The allegation.
First thing, I'm not going to stop it too much, but this just goes to show you, y'all. Predators and sick individuals can be in any profession, can be anyone. So just keep your head on a swivel, and ladies, please be out there protecting yourselves. Absolutely.
The allegations against Dr. Ji Allen Cheng are so monstrous they could make a horror writer blush. The Queen's physician is currently facing charges he drugged a woman using an unknown liquid and recorded video as he raped her in his apartment.
It sounded like a parent's worst nightmare, something out of a movie.
Now, Dr. Cheng is being accused of a second rape, only this time the alleged victim says she was his patient, and it happened inside New York Presbyterian Hospital, Queens.
I am scared. I no longer want to go to hospitals.
We'll call her Jane, and Jane spoke exclusively to the I-Team and Telemundo Investiga because she fears what happened to her might have happened to others. It was June of 2021 when Jane was a 19-year-old admitted to the hospital in Flushing. Her medical records show she needed her gallbladder removed, but the day before surgery in a hospital pediatric unit, Jane says Dr. Cheng unexpectedly injected her with an unknown drug. Immediately after the injection, she fell asleep, and when she woke up, the doctor was no longer in the room. That medical record also says she felt extreme pain to her lower abdomen.
It's not normal to be injected and not know what you were injected with and wake up in extreme pain.
Jane's attorney, Nicholas Liakis, says his client and her mother reported the suspicion something criminal had happened. They say they demanded to know what the doctor injected and even pointed Dr. Cheng out in an impromptu lineup at the hospital.
They put me in front of like 4 doctors and they said, identify who it is. I said him because he was there standing up.
So in the hospital, they did kind of a lineup of doctors?
They did.
And she pointed at who?
At the doctor, Dr. Cheng.
What does that tell you about how seriously the hospital was taking the complaint from this patient?
It tells me that at least the nurse would have believed something was wrong, because that's something that you see in a police station, not in a hospital.
Yeah. New York Presbyterian declined to answer questions about the incident, but in a statement to the I-Team, the hospital said the crimes committed by this individual are heinous, despicable, and a fundamental betrayal of our mission and our patients' trust. We are appalled and deeply saddened by what these victims and their families have endured. The hospital said Dr. Cheng was fired in December of 2022 as soon as the DA revealed the criminal case. But it's not clear what, if any, action the hospital took in 2021 after Jane reported being drugged.
Is there any universe in which the hospital could credibly say, we had no idea?
No.
Jane's lawyers say the medical record proves hospital staff felt something was deeply wrong. It shows the hospital was searching security video and key card access near Jane's room the day of the incident, and after the hospital assigned social workers to conduct a SAFE exam. That stands for Sexual Assault Forensic Examination.
You have essentially a predator in a white coat who is now lurking the hallways of a pediatric unit.
Dr. Chang's defense lawyer told the I-Team the physician denies the criminal rape charges, and with respect to the rape allegation from his former patient, he said, "Our understanding is the hospital matter was investigated by the facility and no action was taken. Our client will defend these allegations should they be formally charged."
I wouldn't want anyone else to go through this.
Jane says she may never have fully known what happened while she was unconscious in the hospital were it not for a devastating call from prosecutors at the Queens DA's office. In December, DA Melinda Katz secured this indictment against Dr. Chang, alleging he video recorded that rape in his apartment. While investigating that, Jane says prosecutors found another video that showed her hospital assault a year earlier.
What does that say to you about the likelihood of more victims?
Someone to rise to this level where you're drugging a person and raping a person, that doesn't happen overnight.
Dr. Ji Allen Chang is now locked up on Rikers Island without bond, awaiting trial on that rape charge from last year. Jane is now suing New York Presbyterian Hospital, and she's demanding the hospital alert all of Dr. Chang's former patients that he's been accused of using anesthesia to commit sexual assault.
Hey, sounds completely reasonable to me. Sounds completely reasonable to me. And we got to be honest. There's no way you just start out with drugging a woman and raping her in her hospital bed. No, he worked up to that. He worked up to that. There has to be multiple victims, and they're gonna have to. And they knew, and the hospital knew about it, and it took them a year to fire him. That's what I sound like. Now, if I'm saying something wrong, tell me, because that's crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I can. You gotta sue, got to, because absolute crazy. But let's get over into this next video where we can actually see him being sentenced. So that's what happened just a little while ago. That was a video from 2 years ago when this case was first brought to the public attention. So this is the next one.
Judgment day for a doctor who's been the subject of a 2-year I-Team investigation. Today, Dr. Ji Allen Chang was sentenced to 24 years in prison for drugging women and recording video while he sexually violated them. News 4's Chris Glorioso is live at Queens Criminal Court, where one of the victims expressed anger at the doctor, but also disappointment with the DA. Chris.
Well, survivors of this convicted doctor are pleased that he's going to prison, but some of them are critical of the plea deal that makes no mention of videos of other alleged sex crimes outside of Queens that the DA herself has said were found on the doctor's phone.
Because you drug these women or you sexually abuse them, and then you videotape that.
In a Queens courtroom, the conclusion to one of the most shocking sex crime cases in recent memory. Dr. Ji Chang was sentenced to 24 years in prison for raping and sexually abusing multiple women while recording video of his crimes. Some of the victims, patients who were violated while they were sedated and unconscious inside New York Presbyterian Hospital, Queens.
He targets people that are helpless.
Last month, in exclusive interviews with the I-Team, some of Chang's victims said the 24-year sentence falls short, and they accused the Queens DA of letting a serial rapist off easy.
You have this obligation to, victims of crime, and you're just like letting people off lightly like this. Why?
In court, the impact statement from one former patient urged the judge not to accept Chang's guilty plea, calling him a sexual predator disguised in a white coat, and calling the plea a sweetheart deal.
This tells everyone in Queens and anyone who's listening that there's always a deal to be made in this district attorney's office, no matter how good the evidence is.
By dropping the most serious charge against Chang, predatory sex assault, prosecutors spared him a maximum life in prison sentence. In court, the assistant DA said all of the doctor's Queens victims initially supported the deal.
Any suggestion that the disposition of this case was not discussed with each survivor prior to the plea is simply false. In fact, no survivor expressed concern or disappointment with the disposition.
Last month, the I-Team was first to report on this letter from 4 women who survived Chang's sex crimes. They all urged the judge not to accept the plea deal, in part because it makes no mention of other alleged sex crimes the doctor is accused of committing outside Queens. DA Melinda Katz herself mentioned her office recovered videos from Chang's devices depicting alleged sex crimes that took place all across the country and globe.
In Las Vegas, in San Francisco, in Thailand.
In court, Dr. Chang spoke only briefly.
I want to apologize to the victims of my heinous crimes, and I will spend the rest of my life talking.
We asked his lawyer about those other videos of alleged sex crimes. Is Dr. Chang going to say what he knows about these other videos of other alleged crimes?
We've already had the opportunity to meet with the district attorney's office, and he's given them everything about them.
Prosecutors did not confirm that. Has Dr. Chang shared what he knows about these other videos that depict other alleged crimes? Some of Dr. Chang's victims are now suing New York Presbyterian Hospital Queens, alleging lax oversight allowed him access to the sedatives he used to commit sex crimes. Today, the hospital issued a statement calling Dr. Chang's crimes a fundamental betrayal of the hospital's mission and of patients' trust. And the hospital said it's sorry. Reporting live from Queens Criminal Court.
That's a good point, y'all. That is a truly good point. Let's back up. Because in hospitals, if my understanding, so tell me if I'm wrong if you work in the medical industry, but you got to like log in and check out with your identification card most drugs, I'm thinking. Now, I would hope that that's how it is, so people can't just steal drugs. But so there has to be something to where they was like, oh, well, multiple times he checked out this type of sedative. Like for what reason? I don't know what reason. But yeah, there was definitely some oversight in the hospital. Like, simple as that. Now, and he only got 24 years, and they even dropped something. Them plea deals, boy. Them plea deals. So, he definitely needed more time. They said there was multiple victims, multiple things that he wasn't even being charged with. Multiple victims that they don't even know about. Just, they have all over the country. All over the country. Sexually assaulting women. A doctor went to school trying to make good money, and he's sexually assaulting women in the hospital. Hey y'all, it just goes to show you, no matter the profession, I said this before, no matter the profession, no matter who it is, they can be some nasty individuals, some sick predators. Do I think 24 years was long enough? No, I don't. Sounds like he needed life, and to me, sounds like he needed life. All these victims, need to be life. Now, tell me if you disagree. Tell me if you think that he should have had 24 years was fine, or if he should have had a longer sentence. Do you agree with him getting a plea deal? I think if they would have took it to court, why a plea deal? Why did they go for a plea? I feel like the jury would have convicted him. The main thing I know about pleas is to save time, I'm thinking. And also just in case there's a possibility that he gets off during a jury trial. But they had video, they had witnesses, so much evidence that they could have used. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Like I always say, tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you disagree with anything I said. The main thing is, do you think that 24 years is long enough? And why do you think they gave him a plea deal? But the hospital about to be sued. Do you think they'll win the lawsuit? I think so. I think they will. I hope they will. Because there was definitely some major oversight. First of all, you got to look at the drugs. How was he able to get all the drugs? No one noticed him just going in and come on now. There's too much oversight for this to be something like this to happen. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Now we're gonna pivot over into so back about four months ago, a 14-year-old was jumped and killed. I messed up on that. Jumped and killed. See, I can see that as soon as you pull it up, you can see the typo. But he was jumped and killed walking home from school. He was jumped and killed walking home from school. So we got two videos to look at. Go ahead and change this. Two videos to look at where brothers were charged and accused of the one being jumping and killing him. So we'll get into the original video first so we can see the first mention of this. Then we'll get over into the brothers and the new details that they brought out recently.
Shock and disbelief after a San Antonio 14-year-old boy is jumped by classmates, then he's shot to death. I'm Sarah Forgani with your KENS 5 News Now. Students and faculty at Brewer Academy returned to campus one day after the attack just blocks away from campus. The school is now providing counselors and therapy dogs. KENS 5's Earl Stuttermeyer spoke with the superintendent and parents.
Hearts are heavy here at Brewer Academy one day after 14-year-old Simon Cuevas was killed just blocks away from the school. Parents I spoke with say they're on edge, not knowing if their children will get home safely from school.
Well, I don't like to pause it too much, but it seems like it's more and more where it's getting that children are getting more violent nowadays. Come on now, jumping someone and then killing them? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But let's keep going into this.
Say they're on edge, not knowing if their children will get home safely from school.
I feel like, oh my God, let me call my grandson. And I thank God he wasn't at school yesterday.
One by one, students are getting scanned at Brewer Academy before they go inside.
When they get on the bus, they are use the one to make sure that there's no weapon. When they get off the bus and before going into the building, we do it again. Before students are dismissed to go into the bus or to walk.
One parent dropping her daughter off says she's worried about her safety, not being able to reach her, especially when she walks home after school.
Let the kids have their technology, because how are we going to know that they're safe? How are we going to know if they made it home?
14-year-old Simon Cuevas was killed after police say a group of 17s ambushed him as he walked home from school. Police say Cuevas was beaten before one of the teens pulled out a gun and shot him. All teens involved ran off. Parents I spoke with say they're heartbroken and hope justice gets served.
I hope they catch those kids. They need to pay for what they did. I feel for his parents. My condolences to all his family.
Superintendent Aquino says they're providing all surveillance from Brewer Academy to police to aid in their investigation. On the west side, Earl Stuttermeyer, KENS 5.
President Trump is...
So that is what the initial report was. Now, Jesus Christ, there's some... I've said this plenty of times, y'all. Big boy crimes need big boy time. I don't want to hear no him in juvenile. Nah. You killed a 14-year-old? Come on now. Send him away like an adult. But let's get over into this next video and see any new developments. So, see right off the top, we can see what one of the kids looks like. The 17-year-old. He ain't got no. What is that? No chin? What is that? Oh, crazy. Let's get
First
into
at 4, we have new developments now in the case of two teenage brothers accused of being involved in the high-profile capital murder case of a boy walking home from school. Earlier today, they appeared in juvenile court. Simon Cuevas was shot to death back in April, but it wasn't until recently that the accused teens turned themselves in.
So after 4 months, probably like three to 4 months, they actually turned themselves in. But what did I just say? I don't want to see them in juvenile. Send them to adult court. Nah.
Is the only journalist in the courtroom today.
The only journalist?
One brother is 14. The other is 16 years old.
Oh, I thought it was 17.
Their hearings were held separately, but the results are the same.
We're going on the record. Keep it down.
The 16-year-old appeared first. Court officials told Judge Jackie Valdez he turned himself in when an arrest warrant was issued August 14th. 4 long months after police said 14-year-old Simon Cuevas was jumped, beaten, and shot to death as he walked home from Brewer Academy. 18-year-old Fernando Flores has been arrested and charged in the case, and another 20-year-old suspect, Cesar Tijerina, shot himself before being taken into custody by police. The teen's attorney asked for him to be released on a monitor, but the state objected because of the seriousness of the attack. The judge agreed. He remained detained.
Be with you to let him go home on monitor.
The mother said her 14-year-old son has been targeted and attacked in detention.
He's already been attacked once, but they did manage to get him out in time.
It's not the place where I want to be, and it's not the place where I want to stay at, and I just want to go back home to my family, and that I want everything to be okay again.
Continued detention was ordered for this teen as well. They will both return for their next detention hearing in 10 days. At the Juvenile Justice Center, Sue Calbert, KENS 5.
Come on now. Absolutely. Let's go.
Detained.
Be with you to.
He talking about, so at least 4. So we got the 14-year-old, the 16-year-old, the 18-year-old who was just recently arrested, and you got the 20-year-old who took his own life after being approached and almost arrested. So these are you telling me that these 4 people jumped a 14-year-old and then one of them shot and killed him? What is the world coming to? What is the world coming to? Yeah, so that's the 18-year-old. That's the 18-year-old. Then the 20-year-old who killed himself. Absolutely despicable. That's as simple as that. Absolutely despicable. And then what is that? That was the 14-year-old who was talking, I believe. He was saying he's already been attacked. Let him go home on an ankle monitor. Now, I don't know who actually shot the 14-year-old. Now, we don't know who actually shot the 14-year-old, but they all jumped him. They all ran away, and they all didn't turn themselves in until 4 months later. Come on now. I mean, even if he wasn't the one, even if the 14-year-old who was arrested wasn't the one who shot him, you still jumped him, didn't you? Nah, you gotta take that punishment on the chin. What did you expect to happen? Think you was just gonna be nice being in lockup? Come on now. Come on. No, I don't. They were on the run for what, 4 months? I don't think you should let him go home on an ankle monitor. I mean, let the stuff fall where it may, man. He out here jumping a 14-year-old with a grown, he jumped him with 2 grown people, 18 and 20. Those are grown people right there. Those are adults. Nah, man. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think they should let that 14-year-old go home? Be on an ankle monitor? I don't know, man. You hear all the stories, eh? If you wanted to, all you gotta do is cut the ankle monitor and go. Cut it and go. Absolutely crazy, y'all. But we'll keep up with this. I'll keep up with this case to see what they actually get sentenced with, who gets sentenced. See if they actually tell us who actually pulled the trigger. But it's a crazy world out here, y'all. It's a crazy world. But we got to keep living in. We got to review the world together, like I always say. Just remember, y'all, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so y'all can keep up with all the newer information that's going to be coming out. Because there's a lot of stories that we got to talk about. There's a lot of things that we need to review. Yeah. Hey, we just got to review the world together. At the end of the day, we got to review the world together. But now let's pivot over into. So, Darius Hayes. So I don't watch too much football, but Miami Hurricanes player was recently charged with vehicular homicide. So we got to get over into that story and see what that's talking about. But we got 2 videos to watch about this. So, hey, let's jump right into it.
3 months after University of Miami football player Adarius Hayes was involved in a deadly crash in Largo, he has turned himself in. 3 people, including 2 children, died in that crash, and tonight Hayes is facing serious charges. Fox 13's Kelly Tracy is following the story and joins us outside the Pinellas County Jail. So, Kelly, you just spoke with a close family friend of the victims. What did he say?
Well, he says the family is relieved and happy about these charges, calling them the first step toward justice. He says they were a little worried as time went on that he may not be charged. Now, as for Hayes, he was booked in the jail here behind me this morning, but has since bailed out on $350,000 bond.
I mean, you have the death of 3 innocent people that were just traveling on the roadways. So, yes, they're very serious charges.
Police just charged University of Miami football player Adarius Hayes with 3 counts of vehicular homicide and 1 count of reckless driving with serious bodily injury. It stems from a crash that killed 3 people in May in Largo.
Hayes made a rapid and dangerous maneuver, changing lanes from the curb lane to the median lane, crossing 3 lanes of traffic while overtaking other vehicles. Moments later, Hayes abruptly re-entered the curb lane, again crossing 3 lanes without signaling. At a point, Hayes' vehicle collided with the Kia Soul driven by Miss Price, which was lawfully executing a left-hand turn west onto Orangeview Drive.
78-year-old Gail Price, 10-year-old Jabari, and 4-year-old Charlie died. The boys' dad, Herbert Rivera, who was in the front passenger seat, had serious injuries but survived. Friends say they
you know I'm not going to stop it too much, but I can't imagine. You telling me the whole car died and the father lived? Oh, the anger, the grief, the rage. Oh, my God, I can't imagine. Truly can't imagine. Let's keep going into this.
Just picked up a birthday cake for one of the boys and were just 50 feet from home.
Search warrants were obtained for the vehicles. The one vehicle, the Dodge Durango, to obtain effectively the black box for the car to give us information on how far the rate of speed of the vehicle, the rate of acceleration, deceleration.
Largo Police Chief Mike Laux says Hayes accelerated to nearly 80 miles an hour in a 40-mile-per-hour speed zone just 1 second before hitting the Kia Soul. He says investigators also relied on witness interviews and nearby surveillance video to determine what happened. And court records show Hayes' criminal history includes a few traffic infractions like speeding 20 to 29 miles over the speed limit. And that was just 2 months before this crash that happened again in May. His history also includes improper lane change in 2023 and careless driving in 2023. And that family friend also telling us tonight that the father of those boys, he is still recovering months later, obviously both emotionally but physically as well, he tells us. So we're keeping that family, of course, in our thoughts. And also police say this is still an ongoing and active investigation. Back to you.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Simple as that. Over here recklessly driving, and you threw away your life. The life is over with. I don't care anything. He's got to be in jail for. He took 3 innocent lives, recklessly driving. His life is over with. He's probably on the verge to go into the NFL. Hopefully that was his goal, probably going to the NFL, but now you in jail? Protecting yourself in jail? That's absolutely crazy. But let's get over into this next video about this. Absolutely wild.
Let's listen in.
Everybody ready? Thumbs up. My name is Mike Laux. I am the chief of the Largo Police Department. I have Sergeant Chris Keeler and Officer Ryan Clark of the Largo Police Department's traffic safety team. They were integral. This is a case agent for the investigation, and this is our supervisor for the traffic safety team. I mentioned a couple months ago that I would provide a follow-up as this investigation progressed. While it's still an open and active investigation, it has progressed to the point that the Largo Police Department's traffic safety team has developed charges on Adarius Hayes for 3 counts of vehicular homicide and 1 count of reckless driving with serious bodily injury. These charges stemmed from the investigation into a crash that occurred on May 10th, 2025 at approximately 1:43 p.m. The crash involved 2 vehicles, a 2024 Dodge Durango driven by Adarius Hayes, and the other, a 2017 Kia Soul being driven by Gail Price. Adarius was driving his vehicle at a reckless and high rate of speed while traveling south on Ridge Road. Mrs. Price's vehicle was occupied by an adult male front seat passenger, Herbert Rivera, and 2 rear passengers, 10-year-old Jabari Elijah Solomon and 4-year-old Charlie Herbert Solomon Rivera. Mrs. Price was making a left-hand turn to go from northbound on Ridge Road to westbound on Orangeview Drive. The investigation revealed that Miss Price had the lawful right-of-way when she attempted to make her turn. In the process of making a lawful left-hand turn, Mrs. Price's Kia was struck on the passenger side by Mr. Hayes driving the Dodge Durango. The investigation revealed that Mr. Hayes' Durango was going approximately 78.9 miles per hour 1 second prior to impact. As a result of the crash, Jabari Solomon and Charlie Solomon Rivera, the 2 children, passed at the scene. Mrs. Price passed later at an area hospital, and the front seat passenger, Herbert Rivera, sustained serious injuries but survived.
Absolutely crazy.
Following the crash, the Largo Police Department's traffic homicide team began an investigation where officers spoke with multiple eyewitnesses, reviewed video surveillance, and conducted follow-up investigations onto the statements provided. It was discovered during the investigation that approximately 5 seconds prior to the fatal crash, Hayes made a rapid and dangerous maneuver, changing lanes from the curb lane to the median lane, crossing 3 lanes of traffic while overtaking other vehicles. Moments later, Hayes abruptly re-entered the curb lane, again crossing 3 lanes without signaling. At a point, Hayes' vehicle collided with the Kia Soul driven by Miss Price, which was lawfully executing a left-hand turn west onto Orangeview Drive. The Largo Police Department's traffic safety team worked in conjunction with the state attorney's office to secure a search warrant on the vehicle, which resulted in confirming that Hayes was traveling 70.8 miles per hour 5 seconds prior to impact and accelerated to 78.9 miles per hour 1 second prior to impact. The investigation concluded that Adarius Hayes' egregious speed, aggressive and reckless lane changes, and complete disregard for the surrounding traffic conditions demonstrated a willful and deliberate disregard for the safety of others, constituting reckless driving. These actions directly led to the tragic deaths of the 3 victims. The Largo Police Department obtained arrest warrants for Mr. Hayes, and Mr. Hayes turned himself into the Largo Police Department this morning. He was placed into custody by the case agent of the Largo Police Department's traffic safety team, Officer Ryan Clark, along with Sergeant Chris Keeler. He was transported to the Pinellas County Jail and charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide and 1 count of reckless driving with serious bodily injury. And I'm answer any questions you may have about the investigation that we can. Just keep in mind it is still active in an ongoing investigation.
Have you been able to make contact, I'm sure you have, with the victim's family, and if so, are you able to share what their reaction to the charges was?
They're pleased with the reaction. We've been in contact with them the entire time. Both our traffic safety team and our victim advocate for the Largo Police Department have been in contact with the family members. They've been apprised of every step along the way during the investigation, and that Mr. Hayes has been arrested.
And were those, just so I'm clear on the timeline, the charges just brought, and then when he found out about them, he turned himself in, or were the charges brought, several days or weeks ago, and then? So
we worked with the state attorneys to obtain arrest warrants. During the investigation, representative of Mr. Hayes, because there was no charges prior to working with the state attorney's office and getting the arrest charges, we've been in contact with his representatives. So they were aware about the same time that we were aware that the arrest charges and they called in and said, basically, can we just bring him in? Yes.
Can you talk about how serious these charges are and what the future could look like for Hayes?
Well, there are 3 counts of vehicular homicide and the serious bodily injury. Of course, there's serious charges. I mean, you have the death of 3 innocent people that were just traveling on the roadways. So, yes, they're very serious
20 years
charges.
probably each.
Could you
Yeah, he in life. He for life.
dive deeper into the legwork that had to be done to either, and what kind of evidence you guys found? Was it traffic cams? Was it people's dash cameras? And then, like, what is it, like a black box of the vehicle to find the speeds and stuff?
Sure. So when the investigation happens, you have 2 vehicles involved. So what our traffic safety team did is basically investigate 2 separate vehicles, right? You want to look at the Kia Soul, the driving behavior of the Kia Soul that led to it making a left-hand turn to go on the Orangeview Drive, and the driving behavior of the Dodge Durango prior to the crash. So you do the background, reconstruct where they were driving and what got them to the point of impact, and then you put both of those investigations together. Search warrants were obtained for the vehicles, the one vehicle, the Dodge Durango, to obtain effectively the black box for the car to give us information on how far the rate of speed of the vehicle, the rate of acceleration, deceleration. It gives us a ton of information on the vehicle prior to the crash. So all of that information in conjunction with witnesses that were driving on the roadway during when the crash occurred, and we did have a parcel delivery vehicle that was parked on the side of the road, and we had video from that vehicle which showed part of the crash.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Well, man, at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. Simple as that. He football player, living a good life, speeding, recklessly driving, and ends up taking the life of 3 people and seriously injuring the 4. Man, how much time? This is in Miami. How much time? Let's see. So we got Google's our friend. How much? Vehicular homicide in Miami. Let's see. Up to 15 years. So let's estimate. I would like to say the whole 15, but let's say 10. Let's say 10 years for each count for the 3. That's 30 years plus another, let's say 5 for the. So look, I'm making a mess. Plus another 5 for the dad who was seriously injured. 35 years at the least, I would think. Yeah. Threw away your life, and now you're spending at least 35 years in jail. Is that enough time? Well, we don't know. That's just my estimation, but would that be enough time? Or hey, just send. Or does he need to be in there for life for taking the lives of 3 people? 35 to 50 years, I would be fine with it. It's not, but absolutely crazy, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on that. Do you know him? Do you know this player? Did he have the makings to go to the NFL? Did he just ruin his whole chances? Was he a great player? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on that. Absolutely crazy. You never know what can change. Your life can completely derail within a few seconds. That's all it took, a few seconds. Him driving erratically, speeding up. In a few seconds, all it took is to take 3 people's lives, seriously injure 1, and now you potentially be in jail for at least 30 years. It's a crazy world, y'all. It's a crazy world. Yeah. It's a crazy world, but we got to get over into another topic. A grown man, I think this said his name, I think his age was 23, was arrested for checking out a teenager in high school, a 16-year-old teenager. And how did he check her out? Pretended to be her brother. Some sick individuals in this world, probably dating each other. End of the day, y'all, please look after y'all children, especially y'all little girls. I don't know why some girls like dating older men. And then there's some sick older men who would date them. Absolutely crazy. But let's jump into this video and see what it's talking about.
Working to learn more about a child sex abuse case. How was a man able to check out a Kirby High School student while pretending to be her brother? WREG's Raven Copeland reports from Hickory Hill, where many are just shocked and disappointed this evening.
A disturbing situation reported at Kirby High School this week. Memphis police say 23-year-old Kevin Talley Jr. checked a 16-year-old student out of school after he pretended to be her brother.
I'm not sure as to why that was accepted or allowed at the school, but they definitely need to do more thorough and deep research and getting those IDs and everything and making sure they're getting and keeping track of who's taking the students out of the school.
The affidavit shows Talley.
Let's pause it for a second. I thought that in schools they had like an approved checkout list, or is that not for high school? I thought it was like approved checkout. The only people who can check her out is these people. And then if you had to get somebody else to check her out, you got to call ahead of time. Like this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
And getting those IDs and everything and making sure they're getting and keeping track of who's taking the students out of the school.
The affidavit shows Talley then drove to an unknown location and engaged in a sexual act with the child. After, Memphis police say the suspect drove to a Walgreens to get money out of an ATM, but he allegedly refused and attempted to leave the teen, but she jumped back into the car. Talley's accused of dropping the child off at Kirby High, where she told deputies about the sexual act and Talley's refusal to pay her the $60 that he allegedly promised. The teen also...
No, I didn't just hear that, man. We got 16-year-old pros out here now? God, man, what is happening to the youth of this world? You mean to tell me that she just sold her body for $60? This 16-year-old just sold her body to a random man for $60. And then he didn't even, oh my God, there's some sick people, man. What is, I want to know what her home is like. What is her home like? Is she a 2-parent household? Is she raised by a single? There's a lot of questions about her upbringing. Where did she think that selling her body for money is the right thing to do? Golly, let's keep going.
Talley's refusal to pay her the $60 that he allegedly promised. The teen also told police that she met the suspect on an app called Plenty of Fish.
My biggest concern with that is allowing the children on devices too early, allowing them on certain apps too early. A lot of these parents, they know that the children are on these apps. They don't screen the apps. They don't check behind their children. And that's where we fail our children daily.
Talley, who's now charged with statutory rape, told police that he believed the child was of legal age. As the investigation continues, a Hickory Hill mother hopes this is a learning lesson for parents and the school district.
When you don't watch them, when you're not looking, when they don't think that you are looking or watching, that's where you allow people to come in and they take over and they take your children and do what God knows what.
Absolutely crazy. So you mean to tell me this little girl, 16-year-old, got on Plenty of Fish, and we know what Plenty of Fish is. Us grown people know it. Come on now. We know what that app is for. He picked her up from high school. Said $60. She agreed to sell her body for $60. $60. Didn't even want to pay her. Man, it's some sick individuals in this world, y'all. Sick individuals. Yes, he is a sick man, but we can't just look at him. Yes, he needs to be in jail for a long time. I agree with that 100%. But we got to do something about this little girl. Like, we got to investigate her back, or what's happening at the home. Where did she think that getting on this website was appropriate? Come on now. A 16-year-old getting on Plenty of Fish to sell her body? Where did she get that idea from? Who is teaching this little girl how to survive and thrive in the world? Come on now. What are you supposed to be doing at 16? Preparing to, what year are you in at 16? You're a junior, senior, close to senior in high school? You're supposed to be focusing on your studies, hanging out with your friends, the friends who are around the same age as you in school, getting ready for prom, and she over here selling her body? God, man, I gotta know what the home is like. Jesus, man. Is there a father in the life? Is there a father in her life? Or is it someone's not raising her correctly? We got to be honest about that. We have to. Because yes, there's that sick man who actually offered something like that for that little girl. But then at the end of the day, that was her choice to get on that app. So we have to look at that. We have to talk about that. We can't just brush that off to the side. God, man, what is wrong with the world? What is wrong with the world? Now, tell me your thoughts, y'all. How much time you think this man should get? This man tried to lie and say, I didn't know she was that. Man, you picked her up from high school. You picked her up from high school. Sick, man. See, I can't even look at college girls no more, man. Because college girls don't even look too young to me now. I've been out of college, 6 years now? Oh, yeah, 6 years? Or 5 years. And the college girls even look too young to me. Oh, my God. There's no way he didn't know that she was... we don't know what she looked like. But picking up a girl from high school, man. Pretending to be her brother. Yeah, we asked some. And then, yeah, we got to talk about the school, too. Come on now. There should be... Well, I truly thought there was lists to where there was approved checkout list. At least that was how it was when I was in school. If you wasn't on that checkout list, you can't take this kid home. That is, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to have to talk to the mama or talk to the parent to see if they're approved. Then you still can't even do that right at the day. They had to know about that at least a day before. Yeah. Schools are not caring about our kids like they used to. Maybe I might be off, but tell me your thoughts. Am I wrong about the approved checkout list? And how do you think the girl's home situation is? Doesn't seem to be good to me. If she getting on the app Plenty of Fish and her parents don't know about it, and she's selling her body for $60. Oh, absolutely crazy, y'all. It's a crazy world out here. But we got one more news, like violent video to look at, but we're gonna go into more of the science and more of the less crazier stuff. But let's get over into this. The next thing we're gonna talk about is a video I saw that popped up on my feed. Looks like a house was shot up, looked like by multiple rounds in the daylight. So we're going to get over into that video. Don't know much about it, but just the first couple seconds of it sounded crazy. So let's jump right into it.
Tough to see, tough to hear as well. Right now, there is a growing search for the people involved in a drive-by shooting that happened in Plantation. Police say several people, they got out of a car and they shot at a home several times. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Roxanne Vargas.
And I'm Shelley
Muniz. NBC6's Nico Clemens is live for us in Plantation. Nico, police believe these people are connected to another shooting that happened in a highway.
Yeah, about 45 minutes later, U2 police believe this group was involved in a shooting on the interstate. We'll get to that part of the story in a moment. But this right here is the rental home where police say this group of people shot up. We're going to zoom in for you, but there are bullet holes everywhere, in the windows, the front door, just in the front of the home. Here's that shooting again.
That's crazy. Say it's a rental home?
as soon as you moved it.
That is pretty incredible. So many people in this neighborhood say they heard those gunshots yesterday. We're on Northwest 1st Street, right off West Broward Boulevard. Police say, you see it there, 4 people got out of a Mercedes, started shooting at the home, then they took off. Unfortunately, all those shots, no one was hurt, no one was shot. Police say the people at the home are uncooperative right now, so they don't actually have a motive behind the shooting. They don't know.
Did they just say that the people inside the home are uncooperative? Let's back that up a tad bit.
No one was hurt, no one was shot. Police say the people at the home are uncooperative right now, so they don't actually have a motive.
Yeah, they in that life. It's simple as that. It sounds like that to me. They in that life. You mean to tell me that, yeah, if your home gets shot up like that, you are beefing with somebody, and you are in that life, and then you aren't cooperating with the police? Yeah, we already know what it's about. We can use our context clues and we know what that's about. They are in that life. This was some kind of gang hit or something like that. Well, just the world we living in now. Jesus.
Behind the shooting, they don't know why this happened, why this group shot at the home. But again, police believe these same suspects were involved in a shooting on I-95 yesterday in Miami-Dade County. FHP, they're investigating that shooting. So I talked with several people in this neighborhood who are, let me tell you, worried, they're concerned, they're scared.
I'm scared because what happened is that when everything done right at my driveway there, there were bullet shots right there close to my house.
We're always outside with the kids and everything, and I can't do it anymore. You know, it's pretty scary seeing everything that's going on.
You notice those 2 people we talked with, they did not want to show their face because, again, so many people in this neighborhood are just terrified after what happened here yesterday. Police believe that Mercedes is stolen, by the way, in Miami Gardens. So they're investigating. FHP is investigating the I-95 shooting. They're trying to piece everything together. But if you know anything, if you recognize that Mercedes, if you maybe know the people at the house, if you know anything, call Broward Crime Stoppers. They want to hear from you so they can arrest the people they need to arrest. Nico Clemens, NBC6 News.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let's listen to that one more time.
Tough to see.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was just but it was a gang or something like that shooting at somebody else, and oh my God, and they was a part of their life. If they don't want to cooperate with the police, it's like 2 and 2 together. It's as simple as that. They were a part of the lifestyle, and we know the lifestyle I'm talking about. The lifestyle us regular citizens ain't gonna be a part of. They probably rented out the house because they said it was a rental house to probably get away from the people they was trying to get to, but they found out about it. They came and shot it up. A neighborhood you used to be able to let your kids be outside, play in the front yard. Can't do that right now. Can't do that. Don't know when it's going to happen next. They just go out and start shooting. Barrage of bullets. Absolutely crazy, y'all. How would you react if this was on your street? How would you react? Wouldn't talk if I tell the police how I feel, but I mean, I tell the police how I feel in the news how I feel, but I'm definitely not showing my face. Nah. Because I don't know what's happening. What is happening in our community? Whoever owns the house it's a rental property, so they got an idea of who was staying there. Yeah, man. You gotta be careful nowadays, y'all. We gotta be careful. You never know what kind of street it's gonna happen on. Someone can be angry at one person, and they come up, they find out that you were living in a rental, they come and shoot up the house. Then what if they got the wrong house? They could have easily gotten the wrong house, and just out of nowhere, your house just gets shot up. Be able to protect yourself, y'all. Be able to protect yourself. Watch over your kids. Don't just let them be out there with no supervision nowadays, because you never know what can happen. You truly never know what can happen. It's sad, but it's what's happening in the world right now. It's what's happening in the world right now. Golly. But, wow. Now, hey, speaking of rental homes, we got to get over into, looks like a couple was scammed out of a rental home. It looks like when they tried to move in, there was already somebody living there. So let's get over into this video and see what it was talking about.
Well, a local couple says they were scammed out of a rental home after paying $4,000 in fees.
Yeah, they say they found someone else living in the home the day they were trying to move in, and the supposed landlord then stopped responding.
So hold on. You telling me they ain't go and view the home? I'm confused. Was it? Yeah, there's a lot of
Chris Lindsay has that story today.
Michael Rios and Lindsay Russo always had dreams of starting a new life in a new home together.
You go from such a high of being able to move our stuff in and set roots and to build a foundation and just to have it ripped from you.
Their search began with a home listed online. A man believed to be the owner reached out.
He told me that property was already spoken for.
So he pointed them to another home just a few minutes away. They were in constant communication.
We went and viewed the home 6-7 times within the month, each time being able to get in the home through the passcode with no problem.
All was going well until move-in day approached.
That's when he gradually started requesting little bits of the first month's rent. So I sent 2 payments of $600.
When they showed up to move a few of their things in,
I turn and there's a husky inside the sliding glass door. And my heart immediately sank.
There was like a water jug stand and like some fake plants and little decorations that said something about like family rules.
Someone was living there. They lost all contact with the suspected homeowner.
Whatever phone number he was using was just like instantly disconnected once he got what he needed.
The couple now out $4,000.
It's devastating.
And the security of having a home to settle into. They believe the man scammed them using a passcode from the self-tour function on the leasing company's website, pretending to be the rightful owner.
I went to the first house the couple was looking to move into. The tenants there tell me they had someone stop by looking to take a tour, even though they'd been living there for over a month.
I literally cannot imagine what those poor people had to go through, and my heart goes out to them. I feel really, really, really bad.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office confirms they are investigating.
I really hope they find out who did it.
Reporting in Deltona, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely crazy, y'all. Where's the couple at? They got to GoFundMe up. Out 4 bands. And it sounds like they did everything right. They toured the home multiple times. But then when they pull it, see, that's crazy. When they pull up, they just now seeing a husky in there? Golly. What was he? I'm assuming he was like on the app or something like that. And I'm assuming somebody bought it right after their last move in or moved in and rented it out from the real people. But they still send the money over. Absolutely. I'm trying to think about when I definitely had to, but see, you can fake paperwork. That's crazy. That's hard to think about. Golly. Scammers are getting good. You got to give it to them. Scammers are getting good nowadays. We just talked about the USPS scammers taking checks. Scammers are, you got to watch out. People will hit up your phone. People gonna call you. I don't even pick if I don't know the number and they don't leave a voicemail. I'm not calling them back. They'll love to call and be like, oh yeah. Let me just log into your bank account real quick and we'll settle all this right now. Man, what? I got my app for a reason. You think I'm about to just give you my bank account information? I don't see nothing wrong with on my app. Until I see something wrong with my app, then I'm gonna use my app to call the people. That's as simple as that. I don't need you calling me. I don't even answer no more. But what could they have done differently, y'all? Could they have, I don't know. Sound they toured it multiple times. I don't know what they could have done differently. You just be careful out there, y'all. Be careful, because $4,000. Okay, I'm assuming the security deposit, plus the two $600 things for the first month rent. Out $4,000. Looked like a good family too. It's sad it's happened, but happens all around the world nowadays. People getting scammed out their money. Just got to be careful. Be as careful as you can, but you still might get scammed. Golly, and nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do about it too. Golly. Wow. But like I said, tell me your thoughts. Like I always say, tell me your thoughts on that. Do you think they could have done anything differently? Have you ever been scammed? Tell me about any times you've been scammed before. We've looked at a couple of scam cases now. We got that granny, the granny who took money out the bank and handed it to the scammer, $17,500. They said, nah, you can just keep the $5,000. Because they was originally asked for $18,000. But it was like, you know what? Because you've gone through all the trouble, keep that $500 and just give us $17,500. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, tell me if you've been scammed. Tell me how you found out it was a scam. Tell me that you found out it. Just tell me anything about your experiences with scammers. Scammers are out there, y'all. Scammers are out there. But remember to like and subscribe, y'all. Remember to like and subscribe. Now we're gonna pivot over into Memphis. So it looks like, speaking of the USPS, we got FedEx. So FedEx is set to lay off 600 FedEx workers in Memphis. So it's at 2 facilities in Memphis. So we're gonna get over into that and see what's all happening with this. So layoffs are hard, y'all. Layoffs are hard for anybody. Let's get into it.
FedEx is taking new steps toward cutting more jobs as the shipping giant moves forward with its major restructuring efforts.
So of course, this is going to impact a lot of people. Now, the Memphis-based company just confirmed more than 1,000 layoffs across several states. ABC 24's Shakina Davis has what this means for Memphis's biggest employer.
The shipping giant filed a notice with the state of Tennessee announcing 611 layoffs at 2 Memphis facilities. That brings the total number of FedEx jobs cut nationally this year to more than 3,000. Let's break down what's happening and why. More than 600 employees at 2 FedEx supply chain facilities in Memphis will soon be off the job. FedEx employs more than 500,000 people worldwide. Here in Memphis, they're the area's largest employer with more than 32,000 workers. The latest round of cuts with the Memphis-based shipping giant take effect for workers at the Questway and Challenge Drive facilities on October 11th. The company filed a WARN notice with the state of Tennessee on Wednesday, laying out its layoff plan. But that's not all. FedEx also confirmed 481 jobs cut at 5 other facilities nationwide. The company is shutting down locations in Greensboro, North Carolina, and Omaha, Nebraska. 3 other facilities are staying open but cutting staff. That includes locations in Dallas and Des Moines. FedEx says it notified employees months ago, and many will get offers for other positions within the company. In a statement FedEx sent on August 13th, the company said, "We are committed to supporting affected employees through job placement assistance, relocation aid, or severance as applicable, including at other nearby FedEx facilities in the area." The company says this is part of its Network 2.0 initiative. Think of it as a major overhaul of how the company operates. It says the goal is to save $2 billion annually through 2027. But here's the thing, the Memphis cuts aren't connected to Network 2.0. The company says those happen because of a big customer is moving its business to another logistics company. This brings FedEx total layoffs this year to at least 3,121 workers across 14 states. FedEx continues to reshape its operations as it faces pressure to boost profits in a competitive shipping market. In Memphis, I'm Shakina Davis, ABC 24 News.
Yeah. It's tragic anywhere. that this happens. Tragic. But if you're facing layoffs, y'all, if you're facing layoffs, there's things you got to do. You got to, we adjust your budget, file for unemployment so you can get at least some money coming in. Start doing more jobs, ask about severance. There's plenty of things that you need to do, but it's a terrible situation for anybody who ends up getting laid off. So, yeah, I pray for anybody who has gone through it. I've definitely been fired before from a job, but you got to adjust your budget. You got to start living below your means, cut off anything else you can so you can save as much money as you can until you find a job, because it is hard finding a job out there. But you got to, at the end of the day, I believe, take any job you can get, and while still applying for other jobs. And I don't care if it's below. You got to bring some money in. You got to have to bring some money in. You can't just be out of work for a couple months, unless your finances get you like that. But a lot of people don't have it like that. Absolutely crazy. Tell me any times that you've been laid off before. How do you feel about it? FedEx laying off, they said around 4,000 people around the nation. Yeah, it's gonna be more. But I mean, layoffs are coming, y'all. Layoffs are coming. Well, absolutely crazy. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on anything that I said. Like always, you never know when something crazy like this is gonna happen. But absolutely crazy. Good morning, Jesse. Thank you for tuning in. Please enjoy the show. There's a lot of things we're going more into the technology side of it now, but we had some crazy things to talk about earlier throughout the show, so go through and watch that. But absolutely crazy. Now we're gonna pivot now. Into Amtrak. So I've seen this pop up, and I'm you can call me a science nerd if you want to, engineer, but we got Amtrak is now releasing a new high-speed train. So you know those high-speed trains that you see in China and stuff going like 200 miles an hour. We're not there yet. We're not there to get to 200 something miles an hour, but we're getting up to like 150, 160. So let's get over into that and see what that's talking about. That was interesting. So I wanted to bring it up and see what y'all thoughts are. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
From the roadways to the airways, Labor Day 2025 could be one of the busiest in years. Airfares 6% cheaper than a year ago. But delays at Newark today after air traffic controllers again reported radio outages.
We've just been having really bad frequency issues and frequency failures.
Forcing a ground stop as planes circled or diverted to other airports. While on the ground, heavy traffic with gas this year 10 cents cheaper than a year ago. All aboard! Meanwhile, America's newest, fastest train is now rolling up the East Coast. 25 years after the first Acela hit the tracks, Amtrak's next-gen Acela is longer, stronger, and smoother. A virtual carbon copy of the high-speed trains in Europe, but not nearly as fast. Top speed on this new Acela, 160 miles per hour compared to 150 on the old Acela. But because the passenger cars can actually tilt going around the curves, will be much smoother. America's 150-year-old bending, curving tracks make it impossible to hit the 200 miles per hour that European and Japanese trains hit.
We're at 160 miles an hour max, but we're not at the high-speed category. I think is shameful.
Still, the new Acela does come with some big upgrades. Leather seats, USB and power plugs at every seat, bigger windows, and 5G Wi-Fi that Amtrak promises will be fast and reliable, though it crashed on Wednesday. Built in upstate New York by a French company, but with American workers.
It just say it crashed on Wednesday? I know I didn't miss that. I know I'm not hearing things. Now, let me back it up a tad bit. What is it?
Is shameful.
Still, the new Acela does come with some big upgrades. Leather seats, USB and power plugs at every seat, bigger windows, and 5G Wi-Fi that Amtrak promises will be fast and reliable, though it crashed on Wednesday. Built in upstate New York by a French company, but with American workers and 95% U.S. parts, this new Acela borrows heavily from its European cousins.
This car that we're sitting in is the same car that we have running in Italy today. Some of the interiors are different, but the car itself is the same.
Amtrak says all 28 will be in service within 2 years. Ticket prices based on passenger demand. Financial success could lead to high-speed trains in other states, too. These new Acelas have 27% more seating capacity, and by the time all 28 are actually on the tracks, Acela capacity will increase by 40%. This train is in high demand.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories.
Now that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I've never been on a high-speed train before. The technology sounds interesting, so I would like to see actually how they get it up to those high speeds. I'm assuming, you know, that some of the ones in Japan have like magnetism and all that good old stuff. But that was interesting. I've always wanted to go on one of those sleeper trains. The one, not the fast ones, but the sleeper ones where you get to go and see the scenery. That'd be nice. That I would want to do that. But as a form of traveling and transportation, yeah, I'm fine with it. It gets faster and as long as it's safe. But they said it crashed on Wednesday. I don't know what that's about. I was trying to look to see if I can find anything about it crashing, but I don't see anything like that. Well, that's hold on, what is that? No, that's not it. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. How do you feel about the high-speed trains? Do you want them to get faster? Have you been on high-speed trains across any of the different countries? Because I think that they said the fastest they're able to get up to now is 160. Let's see what's the top speed train high-speed trains. Let's see. Wow. Okay, so the fastest commercial train. I'll just, because it's easy for me just to show you what I'm looking at instead of me just reading it so you can see it. But let's get over into that. Let's get that right here. So as you see right here, the fastest commercial high-speed train in the world is in China. Shanghai. I think that's Shanghai. Which can reach top operating speed of 460 kilometers per hour or 286 miles per hour. Test trains have been achieved even higher speeds, including Japan, which set the world record at 375. I can't imagine how that would feel on the body. 375 miles an hour. Yeah, so you got, look at this. 260, 286, 217, 205, 199, 200. All of those are in foreign countries, not in America. But will we be able to get up to that high speed now? Yeah, eventually, yeah. But they've been doing it crazy. 286? How fast? How fast is planes must go crazy. Okay, I was about to say. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, y'all. But let me know your thoughts. Do you want to? Have you been on any high-speed trains before? How do you feel about that? But absolutely crazy, y'all. That would be crazy to experience, especially those higher speeds like 286. I can't imagine that 375 miles per hour. Can't imagine it. Can't imagine it, y'all. But the last thing we're going to get over into today, the last thing is we have to talk. So it looks like some kind of, up for us, all the people who like space like I do, some kind of I don't know if y'all seen it, but some kind of interstellar hurtling object that's heading towards our solar system. So that's what everybody's been talking about. So we got 2 videos to watch on that. just to see what it is. And that'll finish us up for today, y'all. But let's get right into it and see what this is all about.
Comet, asteroid, or something else? A Harvard astrophysicist believes there's a strong likelihood this is a craft of alien origin. Give me the best case for why you think this object may be extraterrestrial and maybe alien form.
Well, first, its brightness implies that if it represents reflection of sunlight from a solid object, it needs to be 20 kilometers in diameter. That's bigger than Manhattan Island. And this is a giant rock. The previous interstellar objects were hundreds of times smaller. So it just doesn't make sense that the third object from interstellar space will be 100 times bigger than the previous two. And we won't see anything in between. And moreover, there is not enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver us a rock of this size, 20 kilometers, over a period of about a decade that we conducted the survey of the sky, because this material is very rare and you expect it once per maybe 10,000 years or longer. And so it's surprising if indeed it's a rock of that size.
NASA is saying this is a comet. It poses no threat to Earth and will remain at a distance of at least 1.6 astronomical units. That's about 150 million miles.
It will actually get closest to the sun on October 29th, 2025, and that's when the Earth would be on the opposite side. It's as if it tries to avoid us. We won't be able to observe it. But it also comes from a direction in the sky that is crowded with lots of stars. It was difficult to see it until July 1st, 2025. And so the fundamental question is, was this designed by intelligence out there? And my argument is that we should collect as much data as possible to figure it out. And I defined a new scale that is now called the Loeb scale after my last name, where 0 implies a purely natural object like a comet or an asteroid, and 10 is a definitely technological object that maneuvers, broadcasts a signal, or transmits some artificial lights. And I rank this object, 3i Atlas, as 4 on the scale between 0 and 10. And of course, the more data we have, the clearer it will become. As it comes closer to the sun, it should erupt, it should outgas and produce a beautiful cometary tail. If it is a comet, we don't see a cometary tail as of now. The Hubble Space Telescope took a very high-resolution image of it, and all we see is some glow surrounding it that is actually preceding it towards the direction of the sun, but nothing behind it the way we see cometary tails.
That's weird. Now let's get over into this next video, see what it's talking about.
There's a mysterious interstellar object hurtling towards our solar system, exciting scientists across the globe. While many think it's just a comet, some theorizing a possible alien origin due to a few curious characteristics.
The peculiar thing about it is that it's moving along a trajectory that is very special.
Harvard physicist Avi Loeb has been tracking the object named 3i Atlas.
When it arrives closest to the sun, the Earth would be on the opposite side, and we won't be able to observe it. But that's exactly the time when it could do a maneuver to slow down and visit us. And one wonders whether this trajectory was designed by some extraterrestrial intelligence.
He's also interested in why the object doesn't show the usual signs of a comet, which normally have long, glowing dust trails behind them. But Loeb says Atlas appears to have a slight glow in front of it. So is it a piece of alien technology? Well, it's not exactly a close encounter of the third kind. The outer space anomaly is still drawing scientists into its orbit. NASA scientists first spotting 3i Atlas in July, just a tiny speck of light sailing through a sea of stars, a mind-bogglingly rare visitor from outside our solar system.
We're really excited about this object. So far, we've discovered 3 interstellar objects, so it's a rare opportunity.
Days later, the European Southern Observatory took these high-definition shots showing it traveling a whopping 130,000 miles per hour. It could be 3.5 miles wide, but luckily won't come close to Earth. And not everyone's on board with Loeb's theories. Oxford astronomer Chris Lintott telling Live Science in an email, any suggestion that it's artificial is nonsense on stilts and is an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object. But Professor Loeb maintains he is keeping an open mind.
As a scientist, I'm guided by evidence, not by opinions of my colleagues, because our imagination is limited by our experience on Earth.
And when it comes to the vastness of space, there is plenty of room for big ideas. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News.
No, that's interesting. No. Do I believe in aliens? I don't know if I believe in like the Green Man, but I don't know, because I know that space is ever expanding. It's always expanding, growing bigger. And that I can see at least some kind of microscopic bacteria being out in space. And technically that is life. So would that be alien? Yes, that's alien. So I could see that. I could see that being the case. Do I think that this is a spacecraft hurtling? I don't know. Everybody's saying, but hey, he's made some good points about why he thinks it's not. We won't know until more data is encountered, but they're saying this come from, what is it, the size of Manhattan? That's what they said, something crazy like that. Absolutely wild. Huh? Now, if it does a maneuver, and they clearly say that it does a maneuver to slow down and move and change direction, and I don't know what to say. Now, here's a question. How would humans actually react if an alien came? Would we be friendly? Or would we go straight to war? I mean, I don't know, y'all. We've all seen the movies. Humans are not good with interacting with aliens for the first time. Out of fear, we do something crazy. Next thing you know, we're in a war with aliens. But hey, it's all science based, so we don't know what actually happened. But yeah, tell me your thoughts, y'all. Do y'all think that aliens exist? Do you think that this is a hurtling object, is just a comet? It might not fit everything that we truly know about, that we've already thought that we knew about comets in the trajectory, but hey, still a comet. But let me know your thoughts on that and anything. But that is it for the show today, y'all. That is it for the show today. Thank you for watching now and later. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, y'all, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you can keep up to date with all this new information that I'll be dropping. Because it's things that y'all need to keep into y'all and see what's happening around the world. Not the world, well, some of the world. I'm trying to find more information, more news articles about around the world, but most of my stuff is about what's happening in the United States. But I'm gonna start increasing my expand and my research into other things that are all around the world, because we got to review the world together, y'all. We got to review the world together. But like I always say, on anything I talk about, please let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you think that I'm just talking crazy. Let me know if you think I don't even know what I'm talking about. The main thing, let's have a discussion about it. Let's have a discussion and talk about things civilly. There's no need to name call. No need to. That's the best way to have a discussion. It seems like the kids don't understand that nowadays. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Like I said, this is the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in. But have a good rest of y'all weekend. Hopefully, y'all, Monday is Labor Day. Hopefully you have a good time off if you're off. But if you got to work, hey, like I always say, go get that money. Go get that money now. But I'll be back at y'all on Tuesday, and all these videos will be broken down and released. So hey, you can either watch a live stream or you can watch the individual video when it comes out. But remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button and that notification bell so you can get everything and up to date. But I got to play the outro, but peace.